Happy Wednesday, everyone. Burr Lovett coming to you on this November the 11th, 2020 with your Dose of Hope. We got Dose of Hope on the road, and we got another very, very special guest. He's a great servant in our church. He serves every which way he's asked. He's on time, always ready, and he loves God and he loves people. His name is Todd Cutshaw. Take a listen.
Well, thank you for the introduction, Burr. My name's Todd Cutshaw, like Burr said. And while I'm sitting here at the back of my service truck, one of the main things I do is work on semi-trailers and semi-trucks and many other things as long as it's paying the bills. But part of my job description is we change a lot of tires on trucks and on trailers, mostly on trailers. So today I wanted to bring a friend with me. I wanted to bring this tire. As you can see, it's a victim. It's a victim of a blowout. It's what we call in the trailer world or the truck world a carcass. And you're probably saying, why would you call it a carcass? Because most of us look at it and say, hey, it's not worth anything anymore. It's not much at all. And then we think, well, where's the other part of that tire at? Well, most of you know who's drove down the highway on 240 or 55 or 78. It's that black strip that's laying out in the middle of the road, sitting there waiting on someone to run over it. And we call that part a gator. And the reason why we call it a gator, because it's just like an alligator. You drive by it, you drive over it, you're not paying attention, it'll jump up and slap the side of your car, leave a dent in it, leave a black mark on it. And if you're not careful, if you're riding in a low enough car, it'll even rip the plastics from the bottom of it. Or it'll get hung and then you have to go to some shop, they have to jack it up and remove it for you. If you catch it in the right spot, as you'll notice, this tire has wire all in it. If you run over it in a certain spot when that gator is laying in that road, it will even cut your tire, and your tire will end up looking like this tire. But what causes this most of the time is separation from the belts. And that's mostly caused from overinflation, underinflation, or sometimes just because the tire is old. And I was sitting there looking at this tire one day and wasn't even thinking about it. Bird asked me to do a dose of hope on Wednesday, and I was sitting there looking. I thought for days, like, man, what can I come up with? What can I come up with? And I was at a customer's, and we had just changed this tire. And I was thinking, sometimes my life has been just like this tire. Sometimes in life, when I sin, it causes me to separate. It separates me from God. And then when I start sinning, and I separate myself from God, it causes blow-ups and blowouts in my life. And I was sitting there thinking about that tire. Most of us would look at this tire and we think, man, that tire is useless. It's no good. But I got something to tell you about this tire. This tire still has a purpose. It may not ever be a tire again. But they'll take this carcass we have right here and they'll shred it and they'll make strips into playgrounds. And I'll tell you something else they make it for that I learned myself. I went to Dallas Cowboy Stadium one time, AT&T Stadium, and we did the tour the day before the game. And when the tour guide was giving us a tour, before we walked down on the field, he was showing all these different artificial turfs that go on the field for the Cotton Bowl or for certain games. And this weekend, the Cowboys turf was out there, and the turf actually stands about this tall. But if the turf was that tall they were running in it, they would slip and slide everywhere. So they fill it with pellets of rubber that come from shredded tires, just like these right here. So, of course, I was being nosy. When we finally made our way down to the field, I noticed it, and me and my sons were together, and we started picking them up and kind of playing with them, be like, man, this is something we deal with every single day. But I say all that to say, in life, sometimes Satan tells us, and I read this in Dr. Rogers' writings that I got from a book from a really good friend of mine. It says, sin separates us, of course. It says, the further we get away from God, the closer we get to Satan. I've never thought of it that way, but it's so true. Because we separate, and the more we separate, the easier it is to sin and separate ourselves from God. But what's so great about our God is all we got to do is ask for forgiveness of our sins. And it's just like this tire. This tire may not ever be a tire again, but it's going to get a fresh new start in something else. And every day of our life with God, with Jesus Christ in our heart, and when we sin against Him, if we ask for forgiveness, we get a brand new start. And that's what I have for this week for the Dose of Hope. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week.
Man, that is a great, great word. That's a big dose of hope. And that just reminds us that no matter what's happened in your life, whatever you've gone through, whatever you've dealt with God, God makes all things new. What a powerful word today. Hey, everyone, I just want to take a moment and wish you happy Veterans Day. Hey, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all the men and women who have served our country. May God bless you today, and may God bless America. Hope everyone has a great Wednesday. We'll see you Sunday. Much love.